Everything's assembled and the gaps are surprisingly good. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a few that I suppose I could tighten up a little bit, like here around the trunk, but they're so close. I just don't know if it's worth the effort. This one right here is probably where I'm going to get started. The door has a pretty good gap all the way top to bottom, and it's pretty symmetrical with the exception of the section right here at the top. What's interesting about it is that the quarter panel is actually malformed. If you compare the shape of this curve right here to the shape of the same quarter panel on the other side, they're different. This has an arch upward, whereas the other is a little more flat, which would be ideal because then it would be flush with the top of the door. Right now that thing sits about a 1/4 inch high. So here's my idea. I think I can make an incision right here and another one about right here that would allow this effectively to fold downward, which would do a couple of things. One, line up with the top of the door, and the other is that it would tend to push this surface toward the door, closing this gap. Ideally, that would be enough. If it's not, then it takes a little bit of, additional massaging, but I think I'll start with that and see what it does. Well, that is looking about 99% better. The surfaces now line up, and the gap is just almost perfect right there. Much better. I'm happy. And with just a little bit of filler and a little bit of sanding, that one is looking pretty good. Well, I shaved the firewall, and I'm considering shaving the doors, but I'm definitely going to shave the door jamb, probably going to shave the cowl cover. Here's what I mean. These pieces right here are intended to facilitate flow that goes from the cowl through the door, out the quarter panel, and on through. I can't tell you exactly why Chevrolet did this. That's all irrelevant in today's world with the modern equipment. And so, while one could simply fit those things back in there, that would be fine, and you can even buy some pretty fancy billet aluminum replacements for these plastic jobbers. I think the approach that I like the best is to just not have that hole in there. So my plan is to cut some sheet metal that would fit just perfectly in that spot, weld it in, grind it smooth, and paint it over. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to trace this piece onto a cardboard template, cut that out, come back here, make sure it's about the right size, fine tune it from there, and then trace that template onto the sheet metal, cut it out, weld it in. You know the rest. Well, that's the idea. I think that's the spot. Not surprisingly, but of note, the two sides are not identical, even though I have an OER panel on both the right and the left. The shape of the fill piece is slightly different. Well, I am quite pleased with how that turned out. I think that'll be way better than those funky little door vents, and they're not necessary. It definitely produces a far cleaner look. I got these aluminum hinges for the hood that I'm just stupid excited about. They're so clean. There's no funky spring noise, and they use the little hydraulic pressurized units to hold the hood up. So I went ahead and threw the hood on there, and in the process found something I'm not too excited about. You can see that it seems to have landed hard on this corner and dented it around. I don't think that will be a difficult repair, but kind of a bit of a pain anyway. The second thing I'm not too excited about is the way it fits. I mean, I've got it in there, admittedly, just a first shot, and the seams are pretty close to where they should be, fairly symmetrical, except for up here where I have mile-wide gaps. So I don't quite know what to do there. And I don't know why it's so wide on the passenger side here compared to over here on the driver's side. It makes me think something must be out of square. So what I'm going to do is take this here string and go from corner to corner, measuring the hole that the hood sits in and the hood itself. And we'll see if I have either some kind of a warped hood or if maybe the panels just aren't straight and I need to pull things around. Okay. Now that tells the story right there. That diagonal is nearly an inch longer than that one, which means that the whole contraption needs to go that direction to close this up. The question is, does that mean I need to turn the subframe, or can I simply move the radiator support a fraction of an inch that way? I'd like to think I can move the radiator support because the frame's all squared up, spindle to spindle. Oh, well, that moved. Moved quite a bit, actually. Doesn't look too bad. Wow, okay. Now where does that sit? Okay, we're closer. Definitely closer. Okay. That is looking about 80% better. The gap on this side's just right. We're a little wide here, and we're pretty close there. So there must be just a little bit of... Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. All I got to do is turn that up, and it lines up just... Oh, wow. Almost right on. Much better. And this video is 100% done.